Hello and welcome back yet again to the Bibbs Corner podcast. I am your host, as always, Mike Bibbins. That's at Bibbs Corner on Twitter. And today I have a couple of special guests with me who have been harassing me about getting on the podcast for about 2 or 3 months now. Finally found the perfect opportunity to make it happen. The offseason is pretty much wrapped up. This abbreviated offseason we've had, and the Mavs roster is probably pretty close to set unless something ridiculous happens here down the stretch. So we're going to be getting into that in a moment. But first, I need to introduce my two guests. Most of you probably know this first esteemed gentleman, James D. Grambo, is joining the pod today, and I'm really hoping we can keep him contained. Anything is possible with James, so we'll see how that goes. And then Jose, who I don't remember actually until around the time I started the podcast, because he's had a question every week. But Jose Monteleone is also joining us. That's at J Montelli on Twitter. So I'm gonna let them take over in just a second. I'm gonna give Jose a chance first. Jose, welcome first of all to the podcast.
Thank you for finally inviting me. It's been a long time coming.
Hey, I wanted to
never thought I was gonna make it.
Wanted to make sure I gave you something juicy to talk about. So first of all, Jose, tell us a little bit about your background as far as being a Mavs fan, where it started, and where you are now as a fan.
I started being a fan like 2002. I was like 9-10 years old. My dad had bought me a Michael Finley jersey on one of his work trips, and I was just getting into basketball. I'm like, I have a jersey of this team, might as well root for him. And started watching it more. My older brother was a Spurs fan, and my younger brother was a Rockets fan. So it's been a divided household, for 15, 16 years. But it's been great being a Mavs fan and being on Twitter with all the Mavs fans. It's definitely a roller coaster. They're a very divided group, but it's very entertaining. So currently just hopefully now live in Texas, going to be going to a lot of Mavs games, and it's going to be fun, I think.
So you mentioned, a jersey started it for you. I kind of had the same experience. I'm sure you've heard, but in case anybody doesn't know, mine started with the Jason Kidd jersey that I got for Christmas when I was like 6. And I was already playing basketball, but I wasn't into the NBA. But by the time I got into the NBA, I said, that was my first jersey. That's my team. So interesting there. And then the last part you mentioned that you don't live in Texas currently.
I just moved here for a job out here. I was in Odessa for 2 months, and now I'm living in Austin. I was originally supposed to be moving to Dallas, but plans changed. So I'm in Austin right now. But It's been great. It's I got to experience I got to experience Whataburger for the first time. Not sure what's more disappointing, the Mavs offseason or Whataburger.
Wow.
But it's been
there
fun.
He goes.
I've been enjoying
it. Okay. Well, you kind of alluded to some things that we're going to touch on here in a bit. But thank you for the intro. And I think there was something else you needed to talk about here on the pod while you got the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. If anyone's interested in going solar, DM me at J Montelli. And anyone who, DMs me, I have a little special, a Black Friday Christmas special going on. Anyone who gets installed with me after you're installed, I'll pay you guys $1,000. That could be Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay. If you want me to stuff the money in like a TY bear and mail it to you, whatever you guys want, we'll get it done.
So you heard that, folks. If you want to go green, get the solar panels installed, hit up at J Montelli. And you can also get $1,000 stuffed in a chocolate cigar that you can have smoked in your driveway. I don't know, whatever. Thank you, Jose. And I think it's time to transition to our other guest. We've had him silenced for too long. James D. Grambo, give us your history, man. I've seen you on the Twitter for a while, but I don't know your history. So how'd you get to become a Mavs fan, and how's it been going for you?
I would say maybe around like late 90s. So I become a Mavs fan because that's when I probably moved around to Dallas. It was like 96, 97. I moved to DFW. I used to live in like Killeen as a kid.
Okay.
So I moved to Irving around 96. So I figured I'll pick a team. I guess it's that, and start from there.
And I actually
it's boring. It's a boring story, but that's it.
No, you mentioned Killeen. I actually lived in that area from 91 to 95. So we were it sounds like we might have crossed paths.
We probably did.
That's funny.
We may have.
World. It's a very small world.
That's random as fuck. Excuse my language.
I mean, we can get one F-bomb in here. I try to keep it PG-13, so the rules of PG-13 means you can get one free F-bomb. So we're good. So let's move on. First of all, Jose, you kind of alluded to it already, so I'm gonna let you kick it off. The Mavs offseason. How are you feeling about what went down? And just feel free to sound off.
It was so. I mean, the expectations I think were set pretty high. Like draft night, I was hyped going into it. I was expecting a draft day trade for Levine, Oladipo, Buddy Hield, something along that nature. When the Josh Richardson trade got announced, I was hyped. I think he fits very well on this team. They need a wing defender desperately.
Yeah.
We saw what happened against the Clippers. I mean, they just Kawhi, whenever they needed a bucket, Kawhi was going to get it. There was no stopping him. And then I was really high. I liked the Josh Green pick. He was mocked to them a lot, so I kind of watched some highlights of him. But Tyrell Terry was, I was really wanting Tyrell Terry at number 18 because I had seen him going as high as number 8. I think the Ringer had him number 8. So when he fell to number 31, I was very excited. And it made sense they drafted him with trading Seth Curry. I think he's a good replacement for Seth Curry. Hopefully he's a more aggressive version of Seth Curry. That was always my biggest pet peeve with Seth, was he just kind of seemed a little bit passive at times. His confidence wasn't always there. That's probably something to do with him and Rick Carlisle, maybe. Like having him on a shorter leash. I'm not sure. Right. And then the James Johnson deal, we needed an enforcer. And I don't think he's just an enforcer. I think it's kind of disrespectful to him to think he's just going to be there to throw some Muay Thai knees at people who mess with Luka. Like he can play. I mean, he's not what he was, but I think he's going to be a serviceable player. Well, then free agency happened, and we needed a big. With KP going to be out for at least the start of the season, and Dwight Powell. I mean, best case scenario, he returns as his mediocre self. Worst case scenario, he's worse, which I didn't think was possible. But that's kind of situation with him. And but yeah, I was hoping to get a big. I think James. He wanted the Ibaka hammer. He got me on the Ibaka hammer train pretty early.
No comment about that. No comment.
But I really wanted Ibaka, and I was okay with Boogie. Because worst case scenario, he doesn't work out, but he would have a chance to play in the beginning with KP being out.
Exactly.
But re-signing Cauley Stein, I don't think is a terrible move. When we traded for him last year, I was really excited. I was a big fan of him in college. Just has a defensive potential. He can switch. He's a good athlete. I don't like these videos of him shooting threes at all. If he shoots 1 3 during the regular season, I'm going to lose it. But hopefully he can, actually play this year, because Rick didn't seem to care for him that much last season. But, it's going to be interesting. I think the draft night was such a good, it was really good. I don't like Donnie Nelson saying we're not done yet, and then Rick Carlisle saying it, and then they're done. They don't do anything. I think I think Kenny, shout out Kenny, the No Names Mavs pod. He talks about like it's the offseason wasn't bad, it was the expectations they set and they failed to like reach those expectations. I think that's the most frustrating for me personally as a fan is, once again kind of getting like, honey potted and getting all worked up, and then nothing happened. So but all around, it was I was like a B- offseason.
Okay, I think that's fair. And you mentioned the expectations. We actually did get a question about that, so we'll get into that a little later. But before I weigh in, and I did make like a couple notes of things I wanted to make sure I pointed out from your statement. James, how are you feeling about the offseason?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I felt like we created this hype as fans because we expected so much, or maybe I don't know what we expected, but in reality, we're a team that's over the cap, so we couldn't get anybody. So we created this expectations or what we wanted, but in reality, we couldn't get anybody because we're over the cap. And what can we get with $2?
Right. So you're saying you think the expectations were unrealistic, basically?
No, it's just like we had so many wants, and we just had what we wish we wanted, but in reality, it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, that's fair enough. So,
but it was overall it was good. We got like a bunch of wing defenders that can defend. And
so you're pretty happy with what went down, basically, is what I'm hearing.
We gotten better, but we didn't get like
exponentially
much better. But we were better than we were last year.
Yeah, I think, always the goal has to be to improve the roster. And I can definitely say we definitely improved the roster. I'm glad they kept the draft picks personally. Like, It's good to have young talent that can actually maybe develop or probably get packaged in a deal, as we tend to do. But we'll save that for another day. But,
they might not play a lot of minutes at all this season.
So the first thing I did want to point out, Richardson and Johnson. First of all, Jose, thank you for pointing out Johnson actually being able to play basketball, because the whole treating him like he's just a bully that's going to beat people up is, like you said, disrespectful in my eyes. Like, I'm already annoyed for him at the questions he's probably going to get about that.
What I did like was they got better, but at the same time, they got like cap room for next season.
Yeah. So they did keep their flexibility. I think they kind of
didn't sacrifice
sacrifice
getting better this season for the sake of cap space.
So that's where I think they kind of saved themselves for me. Because if it was all moves that were clearly to save cap space, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
But because they got better, they got two things that I wanted out of the three, I can't really complain too much.
I think one thing that's also like hard, I was like, back to James with the expectations, with being a Mavs fan, nothing leaks out from this front office. So like we hear Zach LaVine and we get all excited, but like, where did that come from?
Right.
Is that just, so I think that's one of the hardest part of being a Mavs fan is
we heard from a third party saying, "Oh, we might like him." Then we were like, let's go get him.
And then I think naturally everyone kind of like,
then Mike Fisher's like,
it's
well, the Mavs are interested.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where like, I think the expectations, I do think Mavs fans kind of like snowballed. If it's no LaVine, it's a bust. But I do think they filled some holes. And I think me and James had talked about it. Like, I forgot who we were talking to about their biggest issue though last season, besides the defensively and all that stuff, was closing out close games. If they can fix their clutch time, like their last 5 minutes, there's no reason they shouldn't improve. They could have kept the same roster if they just figured out how to play like in a close game.
Right.
I mean, they lost 20 games last year, like in the clutch time, something like that.
It feels like it.
I think it was like 19 or 20. If they would have won 6 of those, they would have been like a 2 or 3 seed. I mean, it's literally, they're that close to being a top 2-3 team in the West. It's literally just closing out. And I do think the wing defender is going to help out closing those close games. Because
if they just fix that problem, they're a top team. They're a top 3 team.
Yeah. We're super. We're definitely a contender. if we can start closing some of these games. Like, we can compete right now for a
And you're
title.
going to assume with experience that's going to get better.
Exactly. And that's the main thing I think for me is I think Luka getting a taste of the playoffs and, the shot. Everybody remembers the shot. Like, those type of moments are going to help him know what to do and how to play in those situations. And then you add, like you said, the perimeter defense of Richardson. Like, our problem was defense in those late game stretches where we couldn't get stops. Like, we miss a shot, we're usually going basket for basket. So if we miss a couple shots, that's how we blow leads. And so now we can miss a shot and then get maybe a stop on the other end and, extend the game versus a team coming back on a 10-point spurt in the last 2 minutes on us.
And the offense also got very stagnant in the close games. It became kind of like the Luka show. And then there was games where Porzingis is like, he's heating up, he's hot, and then it's like he just doesn't get the ball. He's a decoy.
Yeah.
And then Luka, I know like most, like if you're like a real Mavs fan, you don't mind criticizing Luka, but these Luka fans like hate it. But like Luka needs like clutch games, like shooting 30-foot step backs contested, like isn't a good look. But it doesn't help when no offense to like the rest of the team, but like if I was Luka, I want the ball in my hands over Tim Hardaway, who's gonna shoot a mid-range, pull up that like hits the backboard.
Right.
So I get it, but I think Luka, once he matures a little bit and like that hero ball kind of like he doesn't do all that hero ball stuff in the end, I think it'll get better because the offense was an issue, but I think the main thing was defense. When you're not getting stops, that Rockets game in the bubble, how it was like up by like 8 with like a minute left. There's no way you blow that game, and somehow you allow the Rockets to come back, and next we're playing the Clippers.
Were they up they were up like 10 with like less than a minute to go.
Yeah, it was like 40 something seconds, if I'm not mistaken. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think the title of that podcast episode was like the Mavericks snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, and then Harden hit that tough three. It was like a 30-foot three on like that fast break. He hit some tough shots, but like they should have never been in a position to come back.
Exactly.
I think the Mavericks, they tend to like play not to lose. Instead
They
of playing to
tighten up.
win. Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, but like they do play a little bit weird, and then it's like you can. I can watch a game and like I can feel it when I'm like, yeah, we're about to blow this one. It's just
yeah, we're basically like we get to a point where we're, like you said, just kind of holding on. We're playing the prevent defense and not doing the things that got us our 10-point lead. And basically, we as fans are watching, just hoping the other team misses a couple opportunities because our team is definitely not going to force them to.
Yeah, or like against the Knicks when like they missed a free throw, and for some reason Boban's not in the game, and Randall gets the free throw, gets the rebound. Next, we lose to the Knicks. That's just can't happen.
Okay, no, I definitely and that's where I think. Also, as far as the offense stagnating and Luka holding the ball, I think Richardson helps a lot in that regard because of his playing style. Like, I would have liked the guy that was more of a ball handler, like distributor, can facilitate the offense. But him as a guy who can catch and shoot or can penetrate the lane and either go to the rim or dump it off to a big, that adds another element to our offense.
And another thing with the offseason, James brought up like the flexibility. They have Johnson, like, I'm not a cap expert, like 16 million, I think, expiring. And then you have Hardaway, which is, I think, 18, 20 million, something like that, expiring. So they might be able to make a move later using them as, trading expiring contracts, trying to get a player.
Josh might opt out. He has a player option.
Who does?
Josh Richardson has a player option.
Oh yeah, he has a player option. So they have tradable contracts, and I would much rather be the Mavericks right now, with this offseason than like overpaying for Gordon Hayward. Like
that was funny.
I would like that's where I'm at. I wouldn't want Gordon Hayward for $30 million a year. So
we are going to transition to discuss the rest of the the other teams. I'm going to drop two things here, though. Again, I think the idea of a deadline trade is a high probability for us because that's where our bread is buttered versus trying to wait in the offseason to actually sign a free agent out of thin air. So I do expect us to be aggressive, especially if Richardson plays well and Hardaway plays well and Johnson plays well. Like those are the three. Those are the three guys that we can package for somebody to get a superstar in return. If the Bucks have been told by Giannis he's not returning, which I highly doubt, or like, you know, if Kawhi's disgruntled in LA, like stuff like that. Like those guys.
Yeah,
that are
Paul George. Yeah.
Right. Like those are the guys that, and those guys make sense for contending type teams. So that's where I'm at with that. I was gonna drop the hot take on y'all real quick though.
What is it?
For the past 10 years, we've been thrifting, and Dirk took a bunch of pay cuts, and we've been saving money for next season. What if Cuban was just avoiding spending money for financial purposes?
Like he's pocketing the money?
Like he's just pretending that he's shopping for these big fish to avoid ever having to pay a luxury tax or anything.
Oh, I can see that. He's probably cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But I mean, hopefully it's not. I would feel bad for Dirk for losing out on 150 million or whatever it was. I mean, if I was Dirk, I'd be pretty pissed. But
I mean, he did film Shark Tank to not talk to Darren Williams.
Yeah. So I mean,
you don't get to be a billionaire by wasting money. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like that. I mean, like the Rockets owner is very vocal about it. You mean,
for
Cuban might be the opposite. He might just talk a big game, but really he's just like lining his own pockets.
That would be
Fertitta is a broke boy, so
no comment. I try not to discuss the brokenness or wealth of people that I'll have money I'll never see. So give me. We'll start with you, James. What are your main takeaways from this offseason as a whole for the NBA? Like, who got better? Who got worse? Like, who are you worried about after the dust has settled here?
I don't know. Detroit, I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing?
It started weird. Then they got Jerry and Grant, and I got kind of curious about it.
They got Plumlee. They got Jalil Okafor. Then they signed Jeremy Grant. So they had like 3 power forwards there, and they drafted one in the draft, like 16th.
I feel like they did not expect to be able to get Grant.
And they let Christian Wood go, and he's probably better than all those guys.
It feels like they just kind of threw a bunch of hooks out and whatever bit they pulled in.
They got Plumlee.
They're definitely not lacking depth in the front court. I'll tell you that.
And they still got Blake Griffin's contract to dump off somewhere, but
maybe they're setting themselves up for a trade with the Mavs because of our lack of bigs. I don't know.
I do not want Blake Griffin, though.
Yeah, I don't want Blake Griffin either.
Sign me up for him.
You'll take Blake?
I'll take Blake.
I mean, the Lakers, they retooled, so they're obviously the favorites to win the championship again.
Yeah.
Atlanta's good on paper, but let's see what happens there.
Are they a playoff team?
Obviously, but on paper, they're like a top 5 team.
In the NBA or in the East?
In the East.
Okay.
On paper. But we know how this plays out, though.
What were you about to say, Jose?
I've had Hawks fans going at me because I've been saying they're going to be before the Bogdan was confirmed. I said they're going to be the 11th seed.
And you're trolling.
No, this is my thing. Okay, so after Bogdan, I feel like they're going to fight for the 7th seed. I think the Nets, Raptors, Sixers, Celtics, Heat, and I'm blanking on a team right now.
Let me pull up the.
The Bucks.
Toronto?
I'm thinking the Bucks. I'm not sure how.
Oh yeah.
Are all better than the Hawks. I don't think there's like any question those teams are better than the Hawks. I still think the Pacers might be better than the Hawks.
Mm.
I think
Atlanta's better than the Pacers.
My
At
thing
least
is,
on,
I don't
on
know.
paper.
My thing is,
all
I
on
don't
paper.
know how well. Like, I don't know how well John Collins and Capella play defensively together.
Terrible.
You throw Gallinari at the 3. I mean, I'm
I
not sure
read
what
Gallo's
3
going to
he's
be
guarding.
the backup.
Oh, he's
to
going to be the
Collins.
backup?
Yeah,
Collins.
they said
Okay.
he's going to be the 6th man.
6 man. Okay. So you still
So
have
they pay
Trae
$20
Young.
million for a 6-man.
Yeah, so you have Trae Young, who people think I don't like Trae Young, but I'm a huge Trae Young guy. But he's an atrocious defender. Bogdan is. I mean, I don't think he's terrible defensively. I wouldn't say he's great.
Yeah, he's pretty average, and he can make a couple plays here and there defensively.
This team is not going to defend anybody.
Cam Reddish at the 3 or DeAndre Hunter, it's like I'm just not sure. Like, again, defensively, how they're going to work. John Collins was great in the pick and roll with Trae Young. How is that going to work with Capella being down there? I mean, we as Mavs fans, we constantly talk about we needing spacing, and then it's like, but then like the Hawks get brought up, and we ignore the fact that like they're spacing. Like I mean, I'm just not sure how like Capella got played off the court in playoff series because he couldn't. You know, what I mean, there's no switchability. I'm just not sure sold on this team being a top 7 seed or a top, above the 7th seed. I think we're underrating the Hornets. I think the Hornets. I wouldn't pay Gordon Hayward $30 million personally, but I don't think the Hornets are going to be terrible. I think LaMelo is going to be a really good rookie. I think the Wizards. I think the Wizards might be decent this year with Wall and Beal back, depending on how Wall comes back.
True.
You got Bertans, who is, I mean, the greatest shooter to ever live.
How did he get so much money?
When you can pull up from 35 on a fast break, you're gonna get paid.
The most ridiculous contract is Joe Harris.
Yeah, that threw me off. I wasn't ready for that.
How did he get that much money?
But that's back to the Mavs free agency. Seeing how much these players got paid, I'm glad. I would not be like I wanted Joe Harris, but not at that contract. I wanted Hayward, but not at that contract. Same with Bertans. Like I see these contracts that were dished out. Like I wouldn't be happy if they signed Joe Harris to that contract.
So what, $72 million?
Yeah, I mean, I would not have been a happy Mavs fan.
And I think I'm just to cut in there, I'm glad that we're not that team anymore.
We used to
desperately throwing money at anybody. Like, yeah, we definitely did. So I'm glad that phase of
in
the Mavericks
05 we would have done that.
So you didn't like the Chandler Parsons contract?
Not at all. From day one, I was pissed.
05 Mark Cuban would have gave Joe Harris that contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I definitely did not want to overpay anybody. The Bogdan contract was perfect. I don't have any complaints about that contract. If we had offered that to him, I wouldn't have complained too much.
But we weren't getting him though.
Yeah, it felt like there was never even a chance, and it felt like I'm not even sure we tried. Quite honestly, because of the money thing, and that's where I kind of get my hold up. Is like this better be the last year of saving money for next year. Like we can't do this again after this year. Luka's gonna start to get annoyed with it. If you ask me,
I think all along they knew like it was gonna be 2 years of this same roster pretty much because it's what we have.
Yeah. So this has to be the last year. Next year we have to be aggressive. We have to build what we have. And
I think that's the plan.
Try to go for rings.
To your point about Luke, I think people and like about Luka getting frustrated. I think people, like especially Mavs fans, have gotten like Dirk never left. So like, oh, Luka's a white European, he'll never leave.
Right.
And it's like the Spurs thought like, oh, hey, Kawhi, he's quiet just like Duncan, he'll never leave. And he quit on them for a full year and then demanded a trade. You mean?
Right.
Like, I think people like tend to think Luka will like, and I do see like, I do think European players might be more loyal because like it's their first time living in the States, whatever. They fall in love with where they're living, whatever.
Exactly.
But like, but I'm not sold that like Luka would never leave if like we're getting
100%.
first and second round exits. I mean, I think if we're consistently making like deep playoff runs, he might stick it out because I do think he has that dog in him. I don't think he's gonna like dip just because it's getting a little bit tough.
Right.
But I don't see him being happy with him,
The front office
Porzingis,
not
and a
helping.
bunch of role players. You mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and like think how he's gonna feel 10 years, like 5 years from now, how he's gonna feel. So I'm not gonna predict all that. If he leaves, he leaves. But I'm not.
Here's
gonna,
what
like,
I'll say. Here's what I'll say.
I'm not gonna speculate how he's gonna feel in 4 years from now.
No, definitely not. You can't decide how he's gonna feel. I feel like I agree with Jose in the fact that a lot of Mavs fans are taking it for granted that he's just gonna stay. I think that's you're looking at it wrong. Dirk and Giannis have more in common as far as when they came over, a fish out of a small fish jumping into a gigantic pond, and the city embracing them and helping them when they were low. Like I always think about the story about Giannis. His first game, he got his first check and sent every single dollar back to his family, and then didn't have money to get a cab, and like a fan gave him a ride to the stadium. Like those type of things stick with you. His whole family moved to Milwaukee. His dad passed away in Milwaukee. Like that's roots. His wife's family, or not, I guess they're not married yet. His woman's family is from the area. Like he has a lot of ties to that city. Luka Doncic was a superstar and has been a superstar for years. Like he's not going to be married to Dallas if Mark Cuban is bringing 1 year mercenaries in every single summer. And he can't get attached to his teammates.
We don't know. We don't know how he thinks. I'm not gonna guess how he thinks, how he feels.
I'm not saying he's gonna run. I'm saying he's going to be, in my opinion, his personality is not going to be like Dirk, where he's loyal to a fault. If he's being wrong, I think he'll leave.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it'll be an easy decision, but if he feels like he's not being treated correctly, I don't think it's a diva thing. That's how it should be. If your job is treating you poorly, you should leave.
No, I 100% agree. Like that's my thought. Like it's like if I was him, and I'm giving everything, and they're not building something around me, I'm gonna leave. Because I mean, he's shown. I mean, even when he was in Europe, the dude is one of the most competitive players in the league. I mean, the dude, like, you have players who like halftime, end of the quarter, they do that little double pump half court because they don't want to hurt their stats. Luka doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to win.
This is too early to think he might leave 4 years from now.
But see, I'm not saying he's gonna leave. I'm not one of those people.
I know, but I see on Twitter like, oh, he's not good. Don't expect him to stay because he's not Dirk.
No, I wouldn't take it that far. Right now. I wouldn't take it that far. I'm just saying, don't close your.
He's different. He's different.
Don't take either side for granted at all.
And that's my. I think we just like. I mean, granted, he's a rookie contract. We have him under control for like 7 years, 8 years, whatever in Dallas. But I just don't think like. I'm not saying he's definitely gone if they don't win, but I don't think he's definitely going to stay for 20 years. I mean, I think we need to treat him differently than Dirk because it's not a guarantee that he would stay. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like if by year 7 he hasn't won a ring, he's gone. But I do think he wants to be competitive at least.
Yeah,
that's how it will come. That will come like 4 years from now. So when that comes, I will think about it.
That's fair enough. All right, so that's gonna wrap up this portion of it. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll get into. We got a good bit of questions. We'll get into those questions. All right, welcome back, and we got into some good stuff in the first half of this, and we do have about 13 questions here. Some of them simpler than others, so let's get started. First question comes from Kabam Sports. He basically asked the white and gold city jerseys, yes or no?
Yes.
100% yes. Yes.
That's 2 yeses.
They're like clean. you know what.
Yeah,
almost got it.
they are. I mean, I think they're one of the better city jerseys, not just in the Mavericks, terrible history of jerseys, but is like currently in
Last
the
year's was
league.
great. Last year's were great.
They grew on me, but I think these city jerseys are one of the nicer ones in the league.
When I first saw the leak, I was like, "Oh, that looks fake. It looks bad."
Yeah, it looked
so
cheap
like,
at first.
Let me wait till they come out, and
Right.
they look glorious.
Yeah. Seeing it on KP, that's what kind of sold me on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the court looks like with it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's not a whiteout situation.
I hope it's like gold and more gold.
Yeah, the gold would be dope. Gold would be very dope. It was funny because one of the guys, I was in a 2K league, and like everybody designed their stadium or whatever, and this guy created a stadium that was white on everything was white on the court, like literally everything. The lines were white, the court was white, like it looked like we were playing in a snowstorm. It was really annoying. That's what I picture when I picture a mostly white court. But if they do like some heavy gold stuff, that could be dope.
I love how they made it all mythical when they like released the video and all that stuff.
That was a nice little video, I guess.
They used the Pegasus, which is really cool.
Somebody pointed out that it was the Kanye Power video.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And that made it make sense for me. All right, so everybody's good with the jerseys. The next question comes from Trevor Rathbun, and that's Trevor @Trevor_Rathbun. Question is, if you could make a game winner over any player ever, what kind of shot, and then who and why? And we'll start with you, James.
What kind of shot? I just want to dunk on someone.
Okay. Who you dunking on?
Ah, shit. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. PD13.
I'll dunk on Tim Duncan.
Dunk on Tim Duncan. Okay.
The GOAT.
Teabag Tim Duncan for a game winner.
No comment, man. I'm going to let you go with that, Jose. All right, I like that. So what do you got, Jose?
I would shoot like a mid-range pull-up, because if anyone knows me, they know I love the mid-range game. Probably over Dwayne Wade, and I don't think that needs an explanation why.
Ooh, okay.
Obviously, I can't do either of these things. I'm terrible at basketball, but if I can imagine myself doing something like this, it'd be dunking on Tim Duncan.
No, that's you're supposed to be imaginative on this. I'm gonna keep mine pretty realistic though. I would shoot a step back, pull up mid range jumper over Michael Jordan, because I gotta go.
Realistic.
I gotta go at the GOAT. I mean, it's something a shot I could actually take. It's probably not getting in over Michael Jordan, but
he's sending that shit to the galaxy.
I could probably get Michael Jordan right now. I'm just saying.
You gotta push off like Mike did.
Exactly. I gotta put the hand on his cheek, slide him a little bit.
So you're treating him like Byron Russell.
And then step back and hit the shot. Like it's payback for Byron Russell.
You treat him like Brian Russell.
Exactly.
I hope that Mike was at the casino the night before, so he could have a quote unquote flu,
Hope he's hungover.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll just enhance it a little bit. All right. Moving on. And now we're getting into a little bit more serious question. Isaac Chins asked, did the front office overpromise as if they were in talks with an all-star, and has this divided the fan base? Should we be happy or hold them accountable? I'm going to let you start, Jose.
I mean, we kind of touched on it before. I think they did overpromise with the whole "we're not done." But I mean, I think you can hold them accountable while still being somewhat happy with the offseason. Right. I mean, I think the only thing they really needed was another big, especially with Porzingis being out for the start of the season. But I think you can be both. You can be happy while holding them accountable for, honeypotting us.
Maybe they planned on trying to make some more moves, and when they try to make more moves, they realized they couldn't do anything. So they're like, "What do we do? What do we do now?"
That's kind of where I felt. Like I'm sure they tried to make other moves happen, and it just didn't work out.
Then they realized, what can we do? We can't move this guy because he's not good.
Right.
That's one thing. Like we all hate on Tim Hardaway and Dwight Powell, yet we're surprised that like no one like takes them. You know what I mean? Like, and also I don't think like with Ibaka, I don't think like the Mavericks just never tried talking to him. I mean,
right.
I assume he wanted to play with Kawhi again. I mean, he wanted to, go to a team he knows will be contending for sure.
He knew where he wanted to go.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Mavericks were like, hey, we're just not going to talk to any free agent. And Donnie was like at dinner with Porzingis again. But I think it was just, players didn't want to come to Dallas. They wanted to go to the LA teams, which I think is going to be an issue the Mavericks have for the foreseeable futures. Teams wanted to go to these LA teams, and instead of coming to Dallas, which I'm not sure why, but it's kind of.
Here's the thing. I think that the Mavs are doing things out of order. I kind of touched on this on Twitter, but you don't attract free agents by having money. You attract them by winning. If we take a step forward next year, the likelihood of somebody coming here in free agency increases. If we are a first round exit again, it decreases. And that's pretty much the simple facts of it. Guys aren't going to want to come to help us get from the first round to the second. They're going to want to come to get us.
So we'll be a 2 seed this year and go to the Western Conference Finals, and we'll get Giannis.
Exactly.
Done deal.
That's going to be tempting for him.
I also think Porzingis has to show that he can stay healthy.
That too.
And I think another issue, like with the whole players wanted to go to Golden State and the LA teams over Dallas. I mean, I would rather live in a place that has In-N-Out Burger over Whataburger any day.
You know what?
Oh, here he goes.
That's the second bad food take of the episode. I'm letting them go.
Why? In-N-Out's just like
it's the most basic. I almost said it. It's the most basic burger I've ever had. Like you can get a better burger from anywhere.
It literally tastes like a Big Mac.
I think the Big Mac might even be better, honestly.
It's like I had In-N-Out. Like, why does it taste like a Big Mac? And the fries are the fries is bad. The fries are bad.
The fries were the worst part.
If you have to put $1,000 dressing on it to make it taste good, your fries are bad.
Exactly. That's what people are. Oh, you got to get it with the. If I got to do extra stuff, then it's
you gotta get animal style for cardboard fries.
We've gotten off track. So my opinion on the overpromise, yes, I think they did. I don't get caught up in rumors. I hate rumors. I don't follow rumor pages. I want the news. Like, tell me stuff that's actually occurring.
Oh, you don't follow Clutch Points?
No, not at all.
You don't follow Basketball Rehab?
You don't follow Mike Fisher? You don't follow Mike Fisher?
I'd stop. You know what? I might get in trouble for this. I gave up on Mike Fisher like 10 years ago. Like I used to like swear by him in the MySpace days. Like, oh, he knows everything. Did you subscribe to his website? Oh yeah.
For $1 a month?
Be on there all the time. The donuts. I used to be on there all the time. And then eventually I realized nothing he ever said was happening. So I was like, you know what? I'm wasting my time on this. And I pretty much just shut him out.
Yeah, he was one of my first like Mavs Twitter follows. And like within like a month, I was like, he knows nothing. He knows absolutely nothing.
He throws like 40 different scenarios out there, hoping something sticks so he can say, oh, I'm right.
Exactly.
He's the Alex Jones of Mavs Twitter.
Any
he's a volume reporter.
Right. Any accounts like that to just throw out like 50 rumors and then come back when one of them happens, like who said it first? I don't follow those accounts. I hate those accounts.
He's a Allen Iverson of starting out rumors. He just chucks them out at volume.
Do you remember Ari last year? Ari Abraham.
Oh yeah, he's super blocked as well.
Yeah, that was
that
peak
funny.
NBA Twitter. Everyone going in on him. That was like peak NBA Twitter for me.
That dude is funny. I love that guy.
It was like, man, who is this dude? Like, but the things that pisses me off about accounts like that is he's got a ton of followers off of nothing. So congrats to that man. But yeah, as far as holding the front office accountable, I think when you build up expectations and you don't deliver anything, you should expect some backlash. Like if I tell my girl, oh, she can't wait for the night, like it's going to be a blast, and then I take her to McDonald's, she has the right to be pissed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I just laugh at it. You know, it's funny to me.
Yeah, like I'm personally not worked up, but I can understand people being upset.
It's just funny.
All right, so the next question.
Buckle up, we're not done yet.
Next question comes from a longtime follower. This guy always asks the question on the pod. At Jay Montelli, you may know him.
It's probably a great question.
Who's better, the Hawks or the Mavericks?
We are.
Yeah, we can keep this short. The Mavericks are still better than the Hawks.
100%. I just wanted everyone to agree on it, and just to make sure everyone knows. I think the Hawks are where the Mavericks were last year. They're an up-and-coming team who I think they're going to, be a tough first-round exit and, maybe win two games in the first round, then be done.
No, yeah. We're going to cook them. We're going to cook them the 2 times we play them this year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I with the team that has Luka Doncic on it is the better team.
Luka's going to cook Capella like all night. Twice.
Yeah, that's barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. He's going to have him dancing. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. Will be
food. John Collins will be food.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm not gonna complain about that. And
it's gonna be like a buffet.
I'm happy for the Hawks. I think they're a playoff team this year. They're gonna get Trey a taste of the playoffs. We're gonna see if he can perform at that next level, and that's good for them. We're looking at being a top 4 team.
No,
but how's Trey gonna feel not taking a lot of shots this year, though?
Who said that?
Trey's not gonna take a lot of shots. I don't know how he likes that.
We'll see. We will see. Because that's all we've seen from him. That's all we've seen from him. Atlanta and Oklahoma.
But they got a lot of guys that need shots.
If the Hawks beat the Mavericks in one game, that Hawks draft nerd account and that Harry Bird account is going to go crazy.
Oh, Harry Bird's funny though. He's funny.
I like Harry Bird. Like I think he's funny.
He's a troll.
But he's going to be in every Mavs fans, mentions for the next, a month after the game, up until they play again. He'll be all over the place.
He's a troll. He's good at it. I respect it. He's a troll.
It's funny to me because I really don't care about the Hawks, and I don't until they are a contender, I'm not going to care about anything they're doing.
It's Atlanta. They never have contenders in sports. Except for the Braves.
Right. Let's move forward. Next question comes from Aminu Acids, who said, do y'all think any Mav breaks out and has a career year this year? And he has a second question, but let's address that one first. Anybody break out?
Willie Trill, I've been saying it. Willie Trill is going to have a career year. He's going
to 5 points and 6 rebounds.
He's going to. I'm bold prediction. Hot take alert. He's going to average 12 and 11 with 2.5 blocks and 1.5 steals. While shooting 36% from deep. Book it.
For the season. Oh man.
Or up until he gets in the doghouse. One of the two. Whichever comes first.
He's getting the doghouse first.
I think he's gonna. I don't think the Mavericks would have brought him back if there wasn't a plan for him.
Right.
I honestly think he has great defensive potential and he's a lob threat. I think he's gonna be good for us. I really do.
I think I'm on board with the Willie Cauley-Stein train. I agree with you 100%. The fact that they brought him back is a good sign. The fact that he was willing to come back is a good sign because
why he opt out and they bring him back at the last
minute? Got paid more money.
It's like
he bet on himself. Money.
It just seems like they brought him back and they couldn't bring anybody else in. It's like, oh, I guess we'll take Willie Cauley-Stein back.
Yeah, he doubled his money, so I'm not mad at him. But I think so when he came to the team, when I went to a Charlotte versus Mavs game, and I think Luka was out that game, and it was one of the first few Cauley-Stein games. It was a game where Seth went off, and the things I was seeing from Cauley-Stein were good, and I was paying attention to him while he was on the court. You could tell that sometimes he wasn't sure about the sets or where to be on offense or defense. But that was just him trying to figure out where he fits in. And I hate that we have such a short offseason, but I think that KP being out, I don't know what Powell's situation is. I haven't heard anything about whether he's going to be ready for this, when he's going to be ready. But I think Cauley-Stein is going to be forced to play big minutes early in the season. And it's going to be a perfect
opportunity. Probably be out until like January 1st, probably.
They said no. They said no earlier, so I'm not going to expect them till like mid-January.
Yeah, I thought they said he won't resume any basketball activities until January 1st. So I'm going to assume he might come back around Martin Luther King Day, like mid-January.
I'm going to say 2 weeks. I'm going to say 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably the safe range, I think. And then at that point, they're probably going to ease him in also. So
if he gets 50 games, I'm happy. If he gets 50 games.
We actually have that question coming up in a second.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I think Cauley-Stein is a safe bet to have a career year because he's going to have the opportunity. The rest of the guys, Richardson's had good years.
Define career year. These guys are like, in their mid to late 20s. So
yeah, most of these guys are not gonna just explode. So I think Cauley-Stein might be the only real candidate for that.
Yeah, most of these guys have got like 28, 29. They're kind of like maxed out on what they can do. So what's a career year?
Yeah, they pretty much are what they are.
I think Cauley-Stein will be mainly because he's going to be forced to play minutes.
Exactly.
And that's, I think if he gets the opportunity, I think he'll be decent for us.
I don't know. I'm not expecting much from him because this is like his 13 or 14?
13.
13.
When he bounced around for a reason.
But he was good in Golden State. When he played in Golden State, I felt like he was effective. I think his biggest issue, I think he just needs to have his role super simple. You're a rim runner on offense, and on defense, you're kind of going to be kind of like a free safety back there. You got to protect the rim and make sure you get the rebounds.
Right. Clean up the Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr. perimeter mistakes, and dunk basketballs.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And if people keep leaving you wide open for three, maybe hit one every now and then. All right. So the second part of amino acids question was, is it called dressing or stuffing?
Stuffing.
They're two different things. Dressing is what you make, like stuffing is what you put in a turkey.
Yeah.
I
honestly don't get the question. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think I've ever seen like two dishes beside each other. Somebody said this is the stuffing and this is the dressing. Like it is what it is.
Dressing is what you make that's not in the turkey. Stuffing is what you put in the turkey.
Yeah, I've never seen someone be like, "Hey, make sure you put the dressing in the turkey." Like,
but dressing is better than stuffing, though.
I have no comment on that. I eat it all, so it is what it is. All right, next question. We're working our way through. I have no idea where we are on time. Henry 12 Win asked, "What if James Johnson ends up hating Luka and decides to use his black belt on him?"
What's Luka gonna do to make him hate him?
I have no idea. James Johnson seems like a pretty easygoing guy when you actually.
I don't think he's gonna be throwing hands on his teammates,
especially not.
He's gonna be throwing hands in general. Like, I think people are over. He's a black, but the thing is, we know he's a black belt. So does everyone in the NBA. I don't think anyone in the NBA is gonna try him. Like,
I just think that's just cool. That's just cool. That's just cool. He's a black belt.
Yeah, here's the thing. But back to like we talked about earlier, I think people are like, there's like, I think it's funny that like we make all the jokes about it, but I think he is a solid player still. I don't think he got brought back strictly like for the Clippers to injure Morris. I think he was.
He's a solid player, but the fact that he's a black belt and does MMA is cool as hell.
Yeah, he's a basketball player first. It's the Mavs didn't sign Francis Ngannou, like they didn't hire like they didn't just bring some random dude who can knock people out.
Right?
The dude can play.
Here's how I feel about it. I feel like guys like that know they can beat pretty much anybody don't feel the need to show that they can beat pretty much anybody. You know what I mean?
His nickname is Bloodsport. That's his nickname.
He didn't do that.
That's his nickname.
He didn't give himself that nickname.
I know, but that's a cool nickname though.
But it's like an assassin doesn't need to show you his gun every 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
He's our Deshaun Stevenson.
If it comes down to it, he'll do what he has to do. But I don't think it'll come down to it because people know.
If Luka gets like a hard foul and Johnson on the court, I expect Johnson to get in there.
Right.
But I don't expect him to be headhunting. But back to the nickname being Bloodsport, I really wish they did the Heat did it a couple years back with the nickname from the back of the jerseys. Because I would 100% buy a James Johnson Bloodsport jersey. 100%.
A Bloodsport jersey?
Yeah. 100% I'd buy a Mavs jersey that said Bloodsport on the back.
That would probably be controversial for today's age, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't expect Johnson to be causing problems in practice. He seems like a pretty cool guy.
He's our new Deshaun Stevenson.
Yeah. Here we go. Next question. We're getting into some fun stuff. Dallas Fanatic 14 brought up Mr. Terry. I know you said you were a fan, Jose. So huge Terry fan. He said, I think he's the steal of the draft. Wondering if you read Kevin O'Connor's piece on him. And the question is, what role do you see for him in the rotation? And where do you think he can be? So I'll start on this one. After watching some of his game, and before people jump down my throat about what I was saying about the game, I'm not saying that he's trash or anything like that, but he looked like a 19-year-old. And if he gained 15 more pounds, congratulations. He's still small. And this is a team that's trying to be top 4 in the West with a coach who is very strict about guards and mistakes. We played Dennis Smith through mistakes because we had nothing else to lose. We played Jalen Brunson because he was 23, a grizzled veteran. And again, he got benched from time to time. I would be stunned if Tyrell Terry is getting any meaningful minutes in the early part of the season. I think he's going to spend some time in the G League. If the G League is even running, I don't even know. I haven't heard much about that. Some time in the G League. He'll be on the end of the bench. He'll get some garbage minutes. But I would be surprised if he cracks the real rotation without injuries or something coming into play.
But if he can shoot, I think there'll be minutes to be half for him if he can shoot.
He's got to beat out Burke, Brunson. Luka's going to play 40 minutes.
Come on.
Richardson's in there.
He can beat out Brunson.
Tim Hardaway's in there. Brokoff could shoot. He wasn't getting minutes.
See, that's where I I think personally he should be able to be, if he's as good as I think he could beat out Brunson. I'm not the biggest Brunson fan, but Carlisle loves Brunson. I don't see Brunson losing minutes to a rookie, but Seth Curry can shoot, and he had a short leash, Right. I think if he does play, his leash is going to be really short. But I do like the pick. I think the potential's there. I've seen some people on Twitter talk about, how, if he eventually can start, next to Luka, he's a great fit. I agree with that, but I just don't see him starting this year or next year. Right. But I think best case scenario, worst case scenario, I think we have maybe a Seth Curry, the replacement, Best case scenario, we have the steal of the draft, and hopefully he gets some minutes.
I think I read someone was saying that they hope that he can be the Seth Curry role.
Like right away?
Or eventually.
Okay. So I can see it in a couple of years.
I also think Trey Burke is also kind of going to try to replace that Seth Curry role.
Exactly.
But all I know, there's going to be 2 games that guaranteed garbage time minutes he can play. And hopefully Trae Young is still in the game and he can light him up.
Yeah. So again, Terry, I can see the talent. I see the shooting. I didn't see a ton of ball handling from him. And I think that if he was a better ball handler, I could definitely see him getting some rotational minutes. But as it stands, I see him as far as immediate skills that translate, it's just the shot for me. And I don't think that's enough to get him past some of those veterans.
What confuses me about it is the Ringer had him at number 8, and everyone else had him late mid-20s. I know the Mavs draft had him I think 25, 28 or something. Which I trust him more than the Ringer.
Right.
But didn't the Mavs say they hope he was going to be there? They thought he was going to be there in the 20s.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. I'm just confused why like his range was so like
Volatile.
I mean like peak number 8, and then like some people have him like early 30s. Same with like Tyler Bay.
So that
I
was the weird
saw
part of this draft. There was not like a huge standout talent. I feel like there's like a huge there's probably a 50-person range where a lot of guys could have really fallen into.
Yeah, I don't think.
And,
I think after the top 3, I felt like it was really just like and anything could happen.
yeah,
I mean, I'm glad he did fall to the 31. I mean, I think that's a great pickup. I know a lot of people wanted Bane,
yeah,
but I think Terry's going to get more playtime than Bane would. I also think Tyler Bay was a good pickup too.
yeah. Bay was definitely a solid pickup. I definitely am not upset at all about what we drafted. I think those guys are going to do very well in the G League, and I'm glad the G League is what it is now, to where those guys can get immediate playing time versus sitting on a bench, rotting away.
See, I saw that with the 2-way contracts, Bay can spend the whole season with the Mavericks. So I'm not
Right.
sure if that means the G League isn't going to be operating the way it was or what.
So I think the last thing I heard about the G League is they might do like a bubble type situation. And yeah, the rule with the 2 ways is that there's no limit to the games they can play with the big team. And that I think that only came up a couple times last year, like Kai Bowman with the Warriors, where they had all those injuries, so he had to pretty much stay with the team the whole time. Like, it's for those type of situations, and like if people are going to be traveling, the NFL's had issues with guys contracting COVID and stuff like that. So let's say the whole Mavs starting lineup gets COVID, God forbid, like those guys will be able to stay with the team for extra time and not have to worry about running out of 2-way days. All right, we'll move forward. This is the question you've been waiting for, James. It comes from Mind of Reese. He said, if Maxi Kleber is having relations this season, should he start? And that was a reworded tweet. You can go look for that if you like. So
if he's getting boxed,
PG-13, man. Come on, man.
That is PG.
That's PG-13.
I'll allow it. So let me add some context here. Maxi Kleber, however I'm supposed to be pronouncing this. I'm a little distracted. The situation is, before the bubble, he was actually playing very well. He broke up with his girlfriend allegedly before the bubble happened, and then women were allowed in the bubble. Shout out to Daniel House. And Maxi played like straight buns in the bubble.
But his woman before that was like grade A.
I mean, I'm sure he was very hurt by losing that
I would.
young lady. So his heart may have been broken, but then
we've all seen her. She's like elite.
But he couldn't even rebound. Like, he couldn't. I mean, he already struggled to rebound on the court. Then he couldn't rebound off the court either because of the bubble, and I think it affected him. They say behind every great man is a great woman, and there were no women in the bubble, and Maxi played like a guy.
But now he's outside the bubble, and there's women all around him, and he's like 6'10" and good looking, so he's gonna have his pick of litter.
So his mojo's back, is what you're saying.
He's gonna go back to the crushing box like prime Albert Pujols. He's gonna use a machine.
You have anything to add here, Jose?
I really don't have a comment. But I don't think, honestly, Maxi, I don't think should start regardless. But
okay. I think for me, in the initial period, let's say Dwight Powell and KP are both gone. I want Willie Cauley-Stein to start, and at the 4, I would like a competition between Maxi and James Johnson.
I think Maxi plays just regular minutes, right?
That's assuming Luka, Richardson, THJ is the first 3.
So you would see? I wouldn't mind some games. Dorian maybe playing the 4.
That too.
So I think
Let's
it
get
should be
weird and
between.
put James Johnson at the 5.
I'm fine with some minutes to James Johnson playing the 5.
Max
weird.
scouts. My man Max said that he needs those 5 minutes for Johnson, and I already know it's gonna happen. Who else is gonna play the 5 besides Willie? Like, who else is playing the 5 besides Willie, Maxey, I guess,
and then Boban for 7 minutes.
Let's go small like the Rockets, like PJ Tucker the 5. We'll have our own PJ Tucker, James Johnson.
Oh man, no comment. I'm gonna be annoyed by a lot of the lineups. I already know.
Why not?
So,
let's have some fun.
You know, from time to time, I'll be fine with it. I just don't want to see a lot of it. All right, we're gonna get into some back to some fun stuff real quick. So SJ, and that's JAY 1887, gave us some over unders, and his last one kind of connects to a Mavs slander question as well. So let's get the first one out of the way. The season is 72 games. Is KP playing over or under 50?
Under.
Right at 50.
I think it's gonna be slightly under too. Yeah, I think it's gonna be slightly under. So we're calling it push for the three of us.
Okay, 48.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be somewhere in that range, just because obviously he's gonna miss a few weeks to start, and I doubt they're gonna let him play back to backs for a while. And they're probably they want to make sure he's there in the playoffs. So they're definitely gonna take their sweet time.
I think for the rest of his career, he's gonna be like Kawhi for the rest of his career.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I'm fine as long as he's healthy for the playoffs. I don't care. Make sure he's there for the finals this year. I'm happy.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I don't think too many fans are going to complain about that. All right, over or under 50 wins for the Mavs?
Under.
I would go under. I think 45. 45, yeah.
Yep, I'm in the same boat. I think it's going to be, again, slightly under that 50 range, somewhere 45 to 47-ish. It's going to come down to closing those games. If we win a lot of those close games, then maybe we can approach 50. But other than that, I'm expecting high 40s. And now this question, I wish I had asked for a little bit more detail. It says Mavs rank 5. And I'm going to say 5th in the West. Over or under?
Over.
Over means what? Top 5?
Top 4 seed in the over or under the 5th seed in the West.
Over.
Yeah, over.
I agree that's my goal is top 4, and anything below that is a disappointment.
I think with Clay being out, I think the Warriors. If Clay was in, the Warriors would have been better than Dallas. But him being out, I would drop them. The only team I can for sure say will be better is probably the Lakers.
Yeah,
and I think everybody else. I think the Mavericks realistically can be better than.
I agree.
There's like a handful of teams that can either finish 2nd or 8th, anywhere in between. There's like a handful of teams that can work.
100%. Go ahead.
I think Portland had it was like a sneaky good offseason. So I don't see them fighting for the 8th seed. I think they're going to be higher up.
Right.
Portland could be either 2 or 8th.
Yeah, we also got to see what happens with Houston. Who knows what's happening? I mean, if they keep it, maybe they are better than Dallas. I don't see it, but I think Dallas should be anywhere from 2 to 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be very tight in there from that 2 to 5 range, 2 to 7-ish range. It's going to be very tight, maybe even 8. And the 7 through 10 seeds are going to have that little play in. You think 7 through or like 2 through 10 is going to be tight?
Oh, no, sorry, 7 through 10 it has a playing game. I mean,
7 through 10 has the play on, definitely. But like the Suns have gotten better. I think Minnesota's gotten better. So
the Suns are taking a big risk though.
Oh yeah, they are.
I don't think they. I mean, I think their best bench player, like scoring wise, is Saric. I mean, I don't see like I'm not sure how well Booker
they have no bench.
Yeah, I mean they have no. I mean, I like Carter. I like some of the bench players. Don't get me wrong, but like to carry come in and score and carry an offense, they don't really have anybody.
And I think that's going to be the difference is if a guy goes down for any of these teams, it's going to dramatically affect some of those teams on the back half. But a team like us, a team like Denver, a team like the Lakers, a team like the Clippers can afford losing like a starter for a little while without their team completely falling apart. Like the Suns, the Timberwolves, those teams can't afford that. The Jazz even probably. Like they can't afford losing a starter for a stretch of time. In Oklahoma City, they're gone. I mean, unless they can find a way to merge some of their 24 players into one player, then they're gone. So let's move to this last one, and it is part of that first question. But then Mav Slander asked specifically about this: is Luka going to average a 30-point triple double? And so the last one was over under 30, 10, and 10 for Luka this year.
Under.
So you're not expecting the triple double?
That's hard to do.
I think if Dallas will be better if Luka's having to do less.
Exactly. And that's where I'm at with it. Like, if he's averaging a 30-point triple-double, that means we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, that means he's having to do too much, and he's going to be tired at the end of games. I mean, and I think what's best is him averaging like 26, 27, maybe 7 or 8 rebounds, and like 8 to 10 assists.
So here's my thing. I expect his assist to be up. Can we get on board with that?
Yeah.
Like points down, assists up.
Probably.
Yeah. He averaged 8.8 assists this year. I think I could see him getting to double digits.
10. Yeah.
That's an ideal.
I could see him averaging maybe even a triple double. I just don't see him averaging 30, especially if Porzingis looked from January 1st after he took those 10 games off. He looked great. If that Porzingis shows back up, I think Luka. I mean, I honestly could see Porzingis leading the team in scoring.
And I think Luka wants that. I don't think he wants to be a guy having to score 30 points every night.
Yeah, I mean, I know people especially non-Mavs fans, they look at him as like a stat stuffer. But I mean, he just does what it takes to win. And I think if he has like that, I mean, my opinion, like the LeBron mindset, like we've seen him pass up game-winning shots, and people hate him because you have to take the shot. But I think he wants the right play to be made, not not necessarily like him shooting it. I mean, I think if he has to, he will. But he wants to make the right play. And sometimes I think he gets hero ballish, but it is what it is.
Right. I think he feeds into the hype with the hero ball stuff, but his personality is he doesn't have to be the guy to get it. Like, he can enjoy somebody else hitting the shot. You see him celebrating a KP dunk and stuff like that. Like, he wants to play fun basketball, fun team basketball.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of watching him play is like it's like a child on Christmas, every game, the joy he has playing. But I do think he feeds into the height with the highlights, and he watches his highlights on repeat.
Oh yeah. And so let's move forward. Rutush asked, how do the Mavs manage KP's minutes with a seemingly weaker center rotation competing in a stacked Western Conference? I'll start this if you want.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right. So I was going to say, again, I think we're going to be forced to not to see what we have without him. And I'm hoping that Cauley-Stein steps up in a big way. And I'm hoping that, like you said, we can see some James Johnson minutes at the 5, that Maxey's able to play more 4 and look like himself as a help side defender versus having to deal with Karl Anthony Towns isolations and things like that. Cauley-Stein, Maxey is beautiful to me. Like, those two, Cauley-Stein can get in the way and then Maxey can come over and block Towns when he tries to do a spin move or some crap. But I think we're going to be okay as long as we have those 3 guys. If one of them goes down, then we're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, I don't think during the regular season he should play. I think he should average no more than 32 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And one thing, I mean, Carlisle, I mean, the beginning of the season last year did terrible with his rotations. Towards the end, it got better. But I think he does a great job. Like, whenever the game's out of hand, he doesn't let the players stay in and, like, pad stats. He just pulls them. I think the more, if they can take care of these, like, bad teams and, like, put them away early and give him that extra rest, I think that's going to be huge.
100%. He doesn't need to. I don't want to see him playing more than 30, averaging like more than 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, then come playoff time, you can increase it when you if you have to. But like, hopefully, Cauley Stein steps up. Powell. Hopefully, he can return at least to his mediocre self and like be serviceable. And then Maxey, is going to do what he does.
Right. Anything, James?
I agree with what you said.
All right. All right, we got two more questions here. And these are pretty straightforward. The first one comes from Tyler Edsel 76. He said, would you rather have THJ on his expiring contract or Bogdan at his new deal?
That's
a good question.
Yeah.
That's a. I would honestly I like Bogdan, but I don't know how much. I think he raises like the floor of the Mavericks team. I don't think he raises the ceiling necessarily.
Okay.
I would prefer THJ, strictly because next year maybe go after. Have that expiring deal. I guess you could always trade Bogdan if a player wanted to come to Dallas next year, anyways. But I think I would go with TSJ if I had to pick one.
Okay. James?
I'll say Bogdan at his current deal.
Okay. I think I'm going to go Bogdan as well. And I think for me, the only part of it that makes it tough is I know what THJ looks like on this team. And I don't know what Bogdan looks like or how long it's going to take him to adjust. But I know I like his game. I think he complements Luka better. I trust him with the ball in his hands. I trust him as a security blanket if Luka has to go out for any period of time for whatever reason. And those are the things that I like Bogdan better for. And we would still have cap space for a max free agent if we had traded, like if we had done a sign and trade, for example, for Bogdan and THJ. But yeah, I just like his game better, period.
See, I like THJ. I hate on Hardaway a lot, but I do think he's a great fit on this team. Because he is with Luka, he's an elite shooter. Without Luka, he's a terrible thing to watch. Like it's like
when he has to think.
Yeah,
I like him.
It's like
if he's not your third best player, I like him. If he's like your fourth or fifth best player, I like him.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I think right now he's probably the fourth best player, which is good.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'm curious to see how quickly Richardson accepts that he's the third most important player on the team. All right, last question. This is a big one. If we make the playoffs this year, what will be our biggest weakness or the reason why we lose?
I think biggest weakness will be, honestly, if they make it to like a deep playoff run, go against the Lakers, their biggest issue is going to be dealing with that size. We don't. There's no one to guard Anthony Davis. If they play a Davis Marc Gasol lineup or a Davis Harrell lineup, I'm not sure how we stop that. Harrell's going to be. He'll get played off the court, I think, against Dallas, but. I think that's going to be the biggest issue. And then also, like, Porzingis' health, I think it will be another issue, maybe.
Okay. What do you got, James?
Probably like the lack of bigs.
Okay.
And I think
And
Andre Drummond would fill that hole right there.
Oh no.
just had to get it in before.
That was for Kenny. I agree with him, but I had to throw it in for Kenny.
What year is this? No.
No comment.
I don't want no stat stuffing center on a bad team.
I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking the bait.
I mean, if you're a bad team, you want a guy stat sheet. Yeah, he's your guy. But
I think that's a bad. I think he gets a bad rap personally on that.
I mean,
I think with given the right situation, like if he ends up in LA, for example, next year, or something stupid like that,
he's
one of those
meant to
teams.
be on a bad team.
What's that?
He's meant to be on bad teams.
I really think he has more game than people realize.
Yeah, I feel like
next summer he'll get $8 million, and people are like, "Why is he getting $8 million?" He's just an outdated center who can sell.
Somebody's paying him. There's no way. Somebody's paying him. He's
getting the mid level next year. He's getting the mid level.
Too many teams have money. He's getting 25. I guess Charlotte or somebody's throwing a bag at him.
He's not getting the bag.
You don't think he's getting the bag?
He's getting the mid level.
He's never played for even a half way competent franchise. I mean, he played with Detroit, who thought that playing,
a glorified Hassan Whiteside,
playing him with Josh Smith and Greg Monroe was a good idea. I mean, like he's in Cleveland,
no point guards.
And the only reason why Cleveland's ever been relevant is because LeBron was born in Akron. If he was born in, if he was born in Pennsylvania, no one knows who Cleveland is. Like
Drummond is a glorified Whiteside. Whiteside and Drummond are the same guy.
If LeBron was born anywhere other than Cleveland, like Akron area, Gilbert would be, James Dolan. But he's paid for Dolan and the Pistons. I mean, I'm not going to hate on somebody for playing. There's 3 franchises if you play with, I don't judge you for being, having a bad image. Detroit, Cleveland, and Sacramento.
I'm just telling you that Drummond's meant to be on bad teams. He's that kind of guy.
I personally hope he gets an opportunity to play for a playoff type team.
If he gets the bag somewhere, it'll be a bad team giving him money.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what I expect. I don't expect like a good team to.
But
I can see somebody getting him as a rental this year.
He's getting the mid-level
deadline. But other than that, like I think he's getting a bag for one of these bad teams, and I honestly think he could work in Charlotte. It'd be him, PJ Washington, who is a stretch 4 with switchability, Gordon Hayward at the 3, Melo as a versatile long guard, and then Graham as a shooter as well. Like I think that would be a top 4 in the East type lineup.
100%. 100%.
But we'll come back next year when he gets like the mid level, and I'll be like, I told you so.
What did
I think we got off track. We got off track. So Whiteside did just sign with Sacramento. We'll see. I think he's in a worse boat. I feel like his reputation is worse than Drummond's personally, because I don't think.
Well, he's also very bad.
Did they say what he got? I know it was 1 year deal.
No,
how much
all I heard was 1 year. I didn't see an amount anywhere.
Okay.
I bet it's the minimum.
I don't know what the Kings' money situation is, but it couldn't have been a lot if they didn't announce the money.
Yeah.
It probably is a vet minimum type situation, just in a 1 year because he thinks he can get paid next year. So
he's not getting paid.
He thinks that. I didn't say it was going to happen. So in this situation, as far as weakness, I can agree with you guys. I'm worried about our big man situation. I like that we have so many versatile small big men. Can we maybe do something at the deadline to secure a better interior guy to deal with a team like the Lakers? I could see a Drummond trade happening, quite honestly, because he's an expiring contract too. So can we trade a couple of those expirings we have for a Drummond if we realize we're getting pounded in the middle? Pause. I could definitely see that happening. The second thing I would be worried about is that experience. Like Luka, I'm not worried about at this point. We know he's going to ball. But like our other guys going to clam up when things get tight in the playoffs that have not been there or have not been on a deep run like that. That's the other thing I worry about.
And that's where I think the Mavs missed Brunson last year in the playoffs. I mean, it's obviously different, but he had national championship experience. Like, he's been in big games.
Right.
I do think they missed that experience.
And I think that's why Trey Burke was able to show the way he did, because he's been on that stage too.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't shaken by the moment. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. And I think we got to be over an hour. I hate going over an hour, but I'm pretty sure we did it. That's perfectly fine. I appreciate you guys, Jose, James. Had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming on.
No problem.
I'm just glad it finally happened. I honestly, I didn't think it ever would. I've given up hope. I had prayed every night about it, and finally it happened.
No, we were persistent enough to make it happen. We bothered him enough.
We were very persistent.
You know, Jose, they say he may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. And I think this was the right time.
I do think it was. I think we had plenty to talk about. I think it was fun.
Exactly. I wanted to make sure I brought you guys in something where we could talk about a lot. I'm probably going to have a couple more guests on in the next few weeks. We'll see what happens. But the season is right around the corner. What, training camp is December 1st?
Yeah, December 1st, and then season starts 22nd.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to happen very quickly. So I'll be doing recaps and stuff like that. I may bring somebody on here and there. So you guys are definitely at the top of the list.
All right. I'm going to log off because my phone's about to die.
All right. Again, thank you guys for coming on. Had a lot of fun. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you. Later.